Hello everyone, welcome to Rev Sports. I am Srishti and alongside I have Devashish and Vaibhav who are out there at Sri Lanka, and as you all know that the series is around the corner. It is going to begin from 15th and the two correspondents from Rev Sports are already present there. So one by one I would like to ask you both that what are the conditions or what are the updates from the practice. Coming to Devashish first. Devashish, could you please walk us through all the practice updates?
Yes, Srishti, today was the first practice session of the Indian team. The entire squad turned up. As you already know that Sai Sudharsan is not in Colombo. He did not travel with the team yesterday. But the entire team was around. Obviously, the start practice session started with Gautam Gambhir delivering a speech in a team huddle. Everyone welcomed Akib Nabi, who joined the start side first. It was his first time that he has joined the Indian senior team. But obviously, a lot of focus was on catching, especially the close catching, the slip catching, high catches. Shubhradip Das, Shubhadip Ghosh, sorry, Shubhadip Ghosh, the new fielding coach, was also um, with the team. Um, but then it was a 3 hours, more than 3 hours, I would say, more than 3 hours of rigorous practice session of the Indian team. Um, and obviously, and the team looked quite focused, especially.
Okay, okay. Vaibhav, coming to you next. Do you want to add up something on Debashish's point? And could you please walk us through about the weather update? How is the weather in Sri Lanka and how is everything?
I think the weather has been very good, ever since the morning, even since the time we woke up. It has been very sunny and no dark clouds around, and that is very surprising to see. I think till yesterday it was all cloudy, it was all gloomy. We were going to the meteorological department to ask how will be the weather for the 3 day practice match, and they said there is a forecast of heavy rain on Friday and Saturday, the first 2 day of the 3 day match practice. But today the weather was very good, so that is why it was out sunny and pleasant, and there was not much of humidity as well, so it was good time for India to practice. They started at around 10, and because the conditions were ideal, they stretched that practice session from 3 hours to 3.5 hours. So they were scheduled to wrap it up around 1 p.m., but the practice was wrapped around 1:30 p.m. So that tells you that because of the ideal weather conditions, Indian team gave extra 30 minutes to their practice session. And yeah, coming to the practice, I think the key highlights for me was the proactiveness of Shubman Gill against spin. Same was with the case with Dhruv Jurel, Rishabh Pant as well. All these batters looked really good against spin. Even KL Rahul looked very solid against spin. The only thing was uh, Devdutt Padikkal was very scratchy. He didn't look at his best against the spin. Against fast bowlers, he looked like a different batter, but against spin, you can see there is a some weakness against both left arm spin and right arm off spin of Saransh Jain. Apart from that, obviously Kuldeep Yadav didn't bowl a single ball, but he batted for 25-30 minutes. That was one highlight. Rishabh Pant batting against the old ball. Akim Nabi and Gurnur were bowling with the old ball to Rishabh Pant to counter that reverse swing. I think Rishabh Pant is preparing himself for the reverse swing, which is going to be a big factor in these abrasive pitches which we get in subcontinent. Reverse swings plays a big role, and Sri Lanka have pacers like Asita Fernando is a good exponent of reverse swing. Then if Vishwa Fernando gets picked up, he is also same. Milanath Ratnayake bowls really good with the old ball. So these are the bowlers. Apart from that, I think all other bases. If you look at Saransh bowled really well. It was his first session with the Indian team. He bowled. He was the best of all the spinners. I've said this in the video as well. He outbowled. He
Yeah.
outshined the likes of Ravindra Jadeja, Manav Sutar, who has played Test cricket. So, there is a good reason why Saran Jan has been brought into the team. He looks a quality bowler against both right-handers and left-handers. Both he was actually getting more turn than any other spinner during the practice session. So yeah, I think, and also the highlights were Gautam Gambhir having a lot of conversation with Shubman Gill, then Rishabh Pant, then
Okay.
Dhruv Jurel. So Gautam Gambhir was very vocal throughout the practice session. He was having conversations, regular conversations with key players. Even Shubman Gill, while he was on the adjacent net with KL Rahul, the two players were having a lot of conversations in between the practice session, because obviously both are the part of the leadership group. So yeah, I think it was a very good session. Apart from the fact that Kuldeep didn't bowl, I think it was a good overall session. I think let's wait and see what happens in the next session. We'll get more clarity. Today we saw Devdutt Padikkal coming out to bat for as a second batter after KL Rahul. That gives you a some sort of indication that if Sai Sudarshan misses out, irrespective of how Devdutt fares against spin in the nets, he will be there as India's number three. Only if Sai Sudarshan misses out.
Okay, okay, very rightly said. Devashish, coming to you next, we will definitely talk about Devdutt Padikkal as well, but there is a person, Akib Nabi. He is here as a replacement of Jasprit Bumrah. So, how do you look at it? Because when Gurnur Brar was selected earlier, I'm talking about in the Afghanistan series, many people were talking that Akib Nabi deserved that chance. So, how do you look at it? Akib Nabi coming in for Jasprit Bumrah.
First up, let me just make it clear that yes, it's very good for Akif Nabi to be part of the side, but I don't think he will make the cut as far as the Gold Test match is concerned. So let's not hype with Akif Nabi.
Hmm.
He's a good bowler, and that is the reason he has been brought into the side because he got 106
Yes.
six wickets in the last couple of first class seasons. And the last season only, when he helped Jammu Kashmir, we lift that Ranji Trophy title by claiming 60 wickets. But it will be Prashid Krishna and Mohammad Siraj. So
Yes.
those are the two frontline bowlers, and there is a possibility that Gurnur Brar can be one of the options, but definitely not Akim Nabi in these conditions because it will be very much the onus will be on Mohammad Siraj, who is going to spearhead the fast bowling attack alongside the likes of Prashid Krishna. And if the team management will, they might also just go ahead with Gurnur Brar. So those are the three options. Akim Nabi is very much a part
Yes.
of the side, but I think the bowling will be more or less heavily tilted with spinners. I think it will be a
Hmm.
spin-oriented bowling attack. And obviously, three spinners will definitely make the cut in the likes of Ravindra Jadeja, Manav Sutar, and Kuldeep Yadav. I guess yes, although he did not bowl today as rightly picked up by Viber. But I think it will be more or less a spin-centric attack with two fast bowlers getting the nod. Srishti.
Okay, okay, very rightly put. Vaibhav, coming to you, what are your opinions on the Indian bowling lineup and also the concern which you raised that Devdutt Padikkal was a bit, I would say, rusty in front of spin, and we all know what is happening with the number three position in Test since a very long period of time. I don't need to go to the time lapses and things, but yeah, like the number three problem was always there, and if like just if Sai Sudarshan is not there and Devdutt Padikkal has gotten chance. So do you think that is a sort of a problem, keeping in mind that he was struggling against spin a bit today?
See, Sai Sudarshan is not going to be not there forever. At some point he will come back, whether it's ahead of the first test or ahead of the second test. He is definitely joining the team. Now, whether he plays the first test or not, that's a different question. But now, coming to Devdutt Padikkal, in case if he gets an opportunity in the Gaul test, I think he should make most of it because you don't get opportunities like to bat for India at number three. Sai Sudarshan has already inspired a lot of confidence of the team management. Even after last home season last year, there were a lot of questions. Will selectors, will the team management back Sai Sudarshan? But they are continuing to back Sai Sudarshan because they know that the temperament, that the skill level of Sai Sudarshan is he's absolutely fit for Test cricket. Even during the IPL time, Jasprit Bumrah jokingly said that this guy plays 600 balls in a day, and this that there's no lie. If I have to pick a player who can eat a lot of balls, who can play a lot of balls in red ball cricket, it has to be Sai Sudarshan. He's so determined. When it comes to the patience level, it's there. Skill level, he's there. So you need those kind of batters, who can grind in for hours. And if you look at his current form, for India against Sri Lanka in these conditions, he was the standout batter for India. So I think whenever he will be back, he's an automatic choice for number three. So that is why whatever opportunities Devdutt Padikkal gets at number three, he will have to score and he will have to add to the headache of the selection, team management. That now I have scored runs. Even if Sai Sudarshan is your number one choice batter for number three position, then also I have made runs, and you have to play him. You have to play me. That's that sort of impact he has to create for himself. But looking at how he looked against Spain, probably it could be like he is facing Saransh after a long time, and he hasn't played on a turning track so far for a long time. That's why. But it will be very interesting to see how he prepares himself, because challenge of spin will definitely be there from the Sri Lanka side, and you cannot hide away from the fact. You cannot, and that is, see, the only concern for me was his footwork during the net session. The way he was using, if it look at Shubman Gill, Rishabh Pant, Dhruv Jurel, all three batters were using their feet, clearing the front leg, and coming down the wicket, trying to unsettle the spinners. That's how what you want to do to in order to counter the spin. And that's what Devdutt Padikkal was unable to do. He was just either blocking the ball, or he was using the sweep shots. These are the only two options that I saw while he was batting against. So this is not the way how you'll succeed against spin. You'll have to have more options in order to succeed against spin in these conditions. So I think whatever opportunities Devdutt gets, I think he will have to score for himself. He will have to score for his place. Otherwise, there are enough contenders for that one position.
100%, very rightly put. Vaibhav, coming to Debashish now. Debashish, one thing I would like to ask you. Right now, we heard Vaibhav talking about the spin, and you also rightly said that spinners will get help here. So we have seen earlier Team Indian batters struggling against the spin. So how do you look at the Team Indian batting lineup I'm talking about in front of the Sri Lankan spin, irrespective of the form of the Sri Lankan players or teams?
See, obviously, yes, in recent past, Indian batters have not done well against spinners. But that doesn't mean that every series Indian batters will struggle against spin. And this in Sri Lankan spin, with due respect to the current generation, I think they are far from being compared to the greats like Muthaya Muralidharan or a Rangana Herat or a Sanat Jayasuriya. So if Indian batters, if they cannot face the present generation of Sri Lankan spinners, then obviously the onus will be on the batter. And that is the reason Gautam Gambhir and Sudhanshu Kotak was continuously seen at the spinners nets today in the practice session. Obviously, and a lot of focus was on the spinners, and that is the reason four the net bowlers, all of them are spinners, has traveled along with the Indian team. So yes, and given that we have failed against the likes of Mitch Santner or Ajaz Patel or against Simon Harbour does not mean that we will fail against Pravat Surya as well. So I think the Indians are working on their technique as far as the spinners are concerned. Yes, and Devdutt Padikkal did struggle, but when you talk about the Shubman Gill, he looked the most confident among the Indian batters when it came to spin bowling. He was using his quick movement. He was willing to play the cut shot. I think and that shows a lot of confidence in the Indian captain and someone like a KL Rahul. So I think that it will be premature or it will do injustice to the Indian batters who have done well. Failing against Sri Lanka, failing against New Zealand or South Africa at home doesn't necessarily mean that India will again fail against this Sri Lankan bowling attack, who predominantly rely on their spinners.
Hopefully they don't, Devashish, because this series is very much important for the WTC cycle. And if just in case, I'm saying, if something happens, then Team India will not be able to qualify for the WTC final, and it would be the second time the same thing would happen. So hopefully they do a good job. We can just hope for the best, and both of you are there, so you all are there and you can like talk it out about it. So Vaibhav, coming to you, same similar kind of question. What do you think about Indian batters versus spin?
See,
You want to?
if I have to go by the technical point of view, then I think Rishabh Pant plays spin really well in red ball cricket. In white ball cricket, yes, I would say his shot selection becomes a talking point. At times, it's very questionable the way he plays spin in white ball cricket. But in red ball cricket, you will hardly find any better batters than Rishabh Pant. He knows, he has played a lot of spin in different conditions, Bangladesh, India. Obviously, this will be his first test tour to Sri Lanka, but I think he's well equipped to tackle spin. So I don't think there's a problem with Rishabh Pant. Even with Shubman Gill, the way he looks, it didn't feel like it. He was having his first hit out after so many months against red ball. So that tells you that the way you prepare yourself mentally, also skill wise, I think that is very important ahead of a big assignment. And I think Shubman Gill looks ready. Same with KL Rahul. Yashasvi Jaiswal is one of India's finest batters against spin that we have seen. I think if you look at the top five, six batters, there are even again Dhruv Jurel. Dhruv Jurel uses his spin, uses his feet really well. Yes, same set of batters have struggled against South Africa. They have struggled against New Zealand, but South Africa had a Keshav Maharaj. They had a Simon Harmer. A lot of fans don't know Simon Harmer, but he's a veteran of 1,000 wickets. He has taken
Yeah.
1,000 first-class wickets. That is a different
Yeah.
quality. Of here, you are only going to face a Pravat Jaisuriya, who started his career really well. But if you look at his last 1 year, then obviously there is a downward spiral that there's a downward graph that you will see in Prabhat Jesuriya's career as well. And also Gaul's condition, if you look at the recent matches that have been played in Gaul, the red ball matches, teams have been able to score runs. In fact, Sai Sudarshan, Dhruv Jurel, all these guys scored hundreds in the last time they visited Gaul for a series. Sahan Arachige, the Sri Lanka A captain, scored 100 against India A bowlers, which had against the Indian bowling attack, which had bowlers like Gurnur Brar and Saransh Jain. So it is not going to be like that Gaul wicket will spin from day one, because if you look at the Gaul, the conditions in Gaul in the last 1 year, particularly talking about the red ball cricket, teams have managed to score over 400 runs. And if you can do it in your first innings, if you take a big lead, obviously it helps in subcontinent. So I think Indian batters will have to target that how to how to mix caution with aggression while they are playing. You don't have to go into the shell, but you also have to make sure that you are not playing any sort of rash shots and throwing your wicket away. So when you are set, you have to make big runs. Just look at what a Shikhar Dhawan did in 2017, Cheteshwar Pujara,
Yeah.
Virat Kohli. So these batters scored. Dhawan, Pujara, Kohli. You have to take that into account that whenever you get set, you have to make most of the ideal batting conditions in subcontinent. And that is the mantra to go about your business as a batter in subcontinent conditions. So I think just batters need to forget to throw their wickets away. How they should realize that the importance of their wicket, and not play a rash shot even when they are not getting singles or doubles. They are not rotating this way.
Very rightly said, Vaibhav. Very rightly said. And we had a conversation about bowling. We had a conversation about batting. But there is another department in which lately Team India is not doing a good job, according to me, and I think according to everyone. That is fielding. If we not much back, but if we still walk a bit back, Border Gavaskar Trophy, we all remember. Anderson Tendulkar Trophy, India versus England Test match, which happened again. Fielding issues. So fielding has been, and not only in Test. I am talking about Test because the Test series is coming up, but in the T20Is also we saw the same thing. So I really feel that is a big of an issue. Devashish, how do you look at the fielding issues, which is happening since a very long period of time now?
Yeah, absolutely. Fielding is going to be a major headache for the Indian team. And obviously, we have seen T. Dilip working on the fielding, um, but we have a new fielding coach in Subodhit coach. So, and if you talk about today's practice session, which was his first with the Indian team, a lot of focus was on catching, especially slip catching, close catching, and also high catching. And here, there you can see the fast bowlers, all the fast bowlers involved in high catching. Those are the slip cordon. So I think fielding is an area that has been a headache for the Indian team in recent past,
Yeah.
and that needs to be worked out. See, it is not about the fielding coach. It is also about the players. The fielding coach can do,
100%.
can go through various kind of drills. Ultimately, it boils down to the players who are in the middle, who are on the field. They have to grab those catches that come their way. So I think uh, yes, it is a new challenge for Shubhadeep Ghosh. I think, and with all the players will have to contribute if they are to make a useful contribution.
Okay. Shubhayan has joined us. So, Shubhayan, coming to you next, how big of a challenge do you think is fielding for Shubhadeep Ghosh? Because off lately, we have seen Team India struggling a lot with the fielding, not only in test matches, we have seen that in T20 Is as well. So, how do you look at it?
No, as Devashita also said, it is on the players. Fielding coach,
Hmm.
even you can bring in a Jonty Rhodes, but if the players
Yes.
are not taking those catches, then the coaches can't do anything. Similarly, every department, the player has to take the responsibility. If they are not picking wickets, yes, the bowling coach will be asked questions, but the bowling coach can't go there and bowl for them. Same goes with batting. So for fielding, we have seen in the recent times they have taken some good catches, but they have dropped a lot also. So it's on the players whether they are able to maintain their concentration for the larger parts of a test match or an international game, and maintain that concentration level when the catches are coming their way. So I feel all these players are the players we have seen dropping catches in the last few months. I think all of them are decent fielders for their respective state teams, IPL teams. They don't drop that many catches for their IPL teams or state teams. It was just happening in India colors. So uh, and Shubhadeep Ghosh, he won't change the fortunes overnight. He will also take some time to build that rapport, build that drills along with players. But ultimately, these players are no new to catching. They have taken thousands and millions of catches throughout their career. So it's on them to maintain that level of concentration and take those catches when it matters the most. But one question I would like to ask Devashish and Vaibhav also. I read about Kuldeep Yadav. We discussed a bit in our 12 noon show as well that he did not bowl at all but batted for a considerable amount of time. So, and in case India play two pacers in Prasidh and Siraj or Gurnoor, they will have to opt for three spinners. So who is the pacer that will see his place in the bench and not in the playing 11? Anyone can go.
Vaibhav, are you going first?
I
Vaibhav,
okay,
let
I'll go
Vaibhav go
first.
first.
Okay, I'll go first. So see, if you just go by the cricketing sense, what we think is obviously if I have to pick the 11, I will obviously pick Mohammad Siraj and Gurnoor Brar just because Gurnoor has the most recent experience of playing in these conditions and doing really well. He picked a 10 for in Gaul in the same venue where India will be playing their first test. And Gurnoor Brar brings extra to the bowling attack. Obviously, Jasprit yeah, Prasidh Krishna also clicks 145 plus, but the lens at which Gurnoor operates, he just give you those extra confidence, and he's more tall. He will able to extract more bounce out of the wicket. So I think just by the cricketing sense, I think it should be Siraj and Gurnoor, but because even at the start we were talking who will start with Siraj, who will bowl in tandem with Siraj. So it was Prasidh Krishna. So there is a lot of confidence that this team management has on Prasidh Krishna. They are looking at him as an all format bowler. He's an all format India player right now. So I think if he's fit, so Mohammad Siraj and Prasidh Krishna will be the two bowlers which Indian team management will prefer, but cricketing sense will say that you make the most of Gurnoor Brar's current form. And to me, Gurnoor Bras look like the one who will be able to have the more impact in those conditions in ball along with Siraj.
And among the pacers, who spinners, who do you think will miss out from the playing 11? Because Jadeja and Manav Sutar are sure shot certainty, I think.
See, to bring variety, you should play a Kuldeep Yadav. He should be the first name that is there on the team sheet. But again, you cannot say anything, you cannot guarantee anything because this team management has a lot of likeliness for the utility players. And that's where Saransh is a better batter than a Kuldeep Yadav. Manav obviously is a better batter, but Saransh is a better batter than him. Just to bring that variety into the bowling attack, again you will have to pick a Kuldeep Yadav because in these conditions in any conditions for that matter, irrespective of the conditions, Kuldeep has that in him that he can take wickets on any surface. But are you tempting to play Kuldeep? That's a big question. Because as you said, Manav Sutar put in the man of the match performance against Afghanistan. He's a guarantee. Ravindra Jadeja is your first choice player. So Ravindra Jadeja will be there. So who will be the third spinner? That is a straight contest between Sarajan and Kuldeep Yadav. I think Saranj can wait. Saranj has a lot of quality. He was the pick of the bowlers in the practice session as well. But I think it has to be Kuldeep Yadav for me, just for the sake of variety, experience, and the impact that he can create. I think it has to be Kuldeep, Manav Sudhar, and Ravindra Jadeja, the trio of spinner that I am seeing in goal.
Devashish, the same question.
Suvan, I won't judge, I won't look too far ahead just on the basis of first practice session. See, first practice session is not an
Yeah.
indication. Means obviously, yes, Kohli did not bowl, but that doesn't go on to say that he might miss the first test. There's still a long way to go until the 15th of August when the first test match will be played. So I think mm, mm, eh, Kuldeep, you can argue that he did not get the a fair opportunity when it comes to getting an opportunity in that test series against England in England, but those are conditions which was not ideally suited to have him in the playing 11. But I would still feel that he should have got a nod. But in these conditions in Sri Lanka, I think the team management should go in for experience. Pure on the basis of experience and Kuldeep Yadav's wicket-taking skills, I think he should be the premier spinner in the side alongside the likes of Ravindra Jadeja. Now, Ravindra Jadeja, you have picked him in the side, you cannot leave him out. You cannot leave him out of the playing 11. So Jadeja for me is definitely going to be there along with Manav Sutar, who has got a man of the match performance in the last test match against Afghanistan. So for me, ideally, if you ask me, Sarang Jain has done well. But I would say that if you are having Kuldeep in the side, you should rather utilize his presence by picking him because he is one bowler. He is a rhythm bowler. If you pick wickets, he can win you matches, win you test matches. So I think in the team management, and I don't know actually why exactly Kuldeep did not bowl today. It was really, really baffling for both of us, Vaibhav and me, to see why wasn't he bowled. Is he carrying any injury? But I don't think so. Because he was quite relaxed because while he was walking into bat, he actually was inquiring how is the LPL going. So since he came to know that myself and Vaibhav were here covering the LPL, he was inquiring to me, why are you here and what was this? I was wearing the same accreditation card. He asked, what is this? Sir, I am here for last 15-20 days. We are here to cover the LPL. So he also inquired who are the players playing in the LPL. And how has been the response? So he was inquiring. He was in a very jovial mode. So I think one practice session cannot just you cannot just jump the gun and say that Kuldeep Yadav will miss out. Means obviously there are at least one practice session and there's the practice game, and then when the team travels to Gaul on 10th, there will be at least three practice sessions if I am not wrong. Shubham.
Right. Right. Prithvi, we can close the show. We can close the show.
Yes, so that would be it. For now, we had all the updates alongside Devashish, Vaibhav, and also Shubhan joined us briefly. So, all the updates are in front of you. If anybody has missed anything, they can go back in YouTube and watch the show. And all the updates from Sri Lanka will be given on the Dev Sports platform. So, stay tuned. And for more such updates, news, and latest news, keep watching Dev Sports. Thank you so much for watching.